Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into AI, specifically a new model called DeepSeek-R1.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this one.
Yeah, it's been really making waves for its reasoning abilities, which we'll get into in a minute. But we've got a research paper here,
Okay.
charts, tables, all that. Our mission to break down what makes this DeepSeek-R1 special, how it was developed, and how it stacks up against other big AI models.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm really curious about this one.
Yeah, me too. And right away, two things really jumped out at me. First, the researchers actually observed what they're calling an aha moment during development,
Yeah.
where the model, it seems like it had a sudden realization.
Wow.
Yeah, and second, this AI can write different types of code. Pretty wild stuff. So, let's get into it. The paper says, the core goal of DeepSeek-R1 is to improve reasoning capabilities in AI
Okay.
using something called reinforcement learning.
Yeah. So reinforcement learning, it's like, think of it like training a dog, right? You reward the dog when it does something right. And over time, it learns to repeat those actions to get more rewards. So in AI, the treat is a positive signal. That tells the model it's on the right track, and the model adjusts its behavior accordingly.
So like it gets feedback and learns. That's cool. So the researchers actually started with a version called DeepSeek-R10.
Okay.
This early version was trained purely through reinforcement learning, no hand-holding with label data.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it's incredibly unusual, kind of like expecting a dog to learn a complex trick without any guidance.
Right.
But what's even more fascinating is that DeepSeek-R10 showed some real improvement. On the AM 2024 benchmark, it went from a starting score of 15.6% all the way up to 71%.
Wow. So the AME exam is designed to challenge the brightest high school math students.
Yeah.
In the U.S., these aren't your average algebra problems. They require deep logical thinking and creative problem solving.
So these are tough problems.
Yeah, even for humans, they can be really tricky. So for DeepSeek R10 to reach a 71% success rate, it just goes to show the power of reinforcement learning.
To unlock complex reasoning in AI, it makes you wonder if AI could one day tutor humans in math.
Well, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. I mean, as models like this continue to evolve, who knows?
That's pretty wild. And speaking of exciting developments, remember that aha moment I mentioned?
Yeah.
It happened during DeepSeek-R10's training on a particularly tough math problem. And get this, the model actually generated the phrase, wait, that's an aha moment I can flag here.
Wow, so it recognized.
I know, right?
That's amazing. What's so intriguing is that it decided to reevaluate its initial approach, which shows a higher level of reasoning than we typically see in AI. Like, it recognized its own error and consciously chose to backtrack and try something different.
So it's almost like it's thinking on its own.
Right.
Yeah, it really blurs the lines between what we consider thinking and what AI is capable of.
Exactly. And this raises all sorts of questions about intelligence itself. But I think for now, let's stick to what we know about DeepSeek R1.
Right. So DeepSeek R10, while promising, wasn't perfect. The researchers noted some issues with the output. It wasn't very readable. And sometimes it mixed languages, like it had the right ideas, but struggled to communicate them clearly.
Yeah, I see. So the researchers recognized that for DeepSeek R1 to be truly useful, it needed to communicate well. So they developed a new version, simply called DeepSeek R1, that uses a cold start approach.
Okay.
This means they fed the model some human annotated data before the reinforcement learning starts.
So it's like giving it a basic understanding of language first.
Exactly, before letting it loose to learn on its own.
That's interesting. So this cold start method helped improve readability and overall performance. Plus, the training process for DeepSeek-R1 was multi-stage, with the researchers continually tweaking and improving the model.
So it's a very iterative approach.
Yeah, it really highlights the iterative nature of AI development, this constant cycle of testing, learning, and refining.
Exactly. It's not a one-and-done process. It's about constantly experimenting and making adjustments.
I like that. So we've covered the basics of DeepSeek-R1's development and its unique approach to learning. But now the real test. How does it stack up against the competition?
Well, the paper compares DeepSeek R1 to some major players, like OpenAI's O1 Mini and O1 1217, even GPT-4o. They tested it on a bunch of benchmarks.
Ah, yes, the benchmarks. Those are the standardized tests that measure an AI's abilities.
Exactly.
But before we dive into the results, let's break down what these benchmarks actually measure.
Okay, sure. So understanding the benchmarks will help you appreciate DeepSeek R1's achievements. So we've already talked about the AEE exam, which focuses on advanced math skills. Another benchmark they used is called Math 500.
Okay.
It's all about solving complex math problems that require deep understanding of various concepts and theorems.
So like the SATs for AI, but for math.
Haha. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Then there's Code Forces. This one's really interesting. It's a platform that hosts competitive programming contests.
Like the Olympics for coders?
Exactly. They battle it out to see who can solve problems the fastest and most efficiently.
So DeepSeek-R1 is going head-to-head with humans.
That's right. And that's not all. They also tested it on MMLU, which evaluates a model's general knowledge across a wide range of topics.
So it's like a massive trivia test.
Yeah, pretty much. Covering everything from science and history to literature and current events.
Wow. So DeepSeek-R1 has to be a jack of all trades.
Pretty much. It needs a broad and deep understanding to succeed on that one.
Okay, that makes sense.
And lastly, we have Live Code Bench,
Okay.
which assesses the AI's ability to solve real-world coding problems, the kind that developers face every day.
So not just theoretical knowledge. It has to be able to actually apply its skills.
Precisely. And on that note, I think it's time to reveal how DeepSeek-R1 performed.
Yes. Drum roll, please.
Well, in the AME 2024 exam, DeepSeek-R1 got a pass at one score of 79.8%.
Wow.
That means on a single attempt, it was more likely to solve those tough math problems than even OpenAI's O1-17, which scored 79.2%.
So it's beating out some of the top AI models in math. That's impressive. What about Math 500?
Even higher on Math 500, hitting 97.3%.
Yeah.
Again, outperforming O1-17, which got 96.4%.
Wow.
And remember, this benchmark tests really complex math problems, ones that even humans find challenging.
Okay, so we're seeing a trend here. DeepSeek-R1 seems to be a math whiz, but how about its coding skills? How did it do on Code Forces?
This is where it gets really interesting. DeepSeek-R1 achieved an ELO rating of 2029 on Code Forces. That puts it in the top 3.7% of human participants.
Wait, so it's not just solving pre-programmed problems, it's actually competing against humans who are actively coding.
Exactly.
That's wild.
It shows a level of flexibility and adaptation that's pretty remarkable for an AI.
Yeah.
It's not just memorizing solutions, it's learning to think on its feet and solve problems creatively.
So it aced the math tests, dominated the coding competition. What about those other benchmarks, the ones that test broader knowledge? How did it do on MMLU?
On MMLU, which, as we discussed, covers a vast array of topics, DeepSeek-R1 scored 90.8%, slightly behind O1-1217, which scored 91.8%. But still a very impressive result.
To put that into perspective, MMLU is like a massive test of general knowledge. If an AI does well on this, it shows it can process and understand information from all sorts of different sources.
Exactly. Now for the coding benchmarks. That focus on real-world tasks. These tests see if the AI can apply its knowledge to solve the kind of problems the developers face every day.
Okay.
On Live Code Bench, DeepSeek-R1 scored 65.9%.
So not just the theory whiz, it can actually put its skills to work.
Precisely. And keep in mind, this model is still under development, so its capabilities are only going to improve.
Feels like watching a child prodigy. You know they're already brilliant, but you can't wait to see what they'll accomplish as they grow.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder what the future holds for AI. Imagine a world where AI can reason like a human, but also write code, solve complex math problems, and understand a vast range of topics.
Yeah, the possibilities are mind-boggling. I mean, we're really witnessing a new era in AI, where machines are going beyond just simple tasks and entering the realm of true understanding.
That's incredible.
But of course, with great power comes great responsibility. As we develop increasingly sophisticated AI, we need to be mindful of its impact on society
Absolutely.
and establish clear guidelines.
Yeah, it's a conversation we need to be having. But for now, let's continue exploring DeepSeek-R1. We've talked about its capabilities, but I'm curious about how it actually works. Like, what are the technical nuts and bolts?
Okay, sure. Let's delve into that. One of the key innovations is its unique approach to reinforcement learning.
Right, we talked about that earlier, but I'm eager to understand the specifics. Like, how does it actually play out? What's going on behind the scenes?
Well, DeepSeek-R1 uses a specific type of reinforcement learning algorithm called Group Relative Policy Optimization, or GRPO for short.
GRPO, okay. What makes this algorithm so special?
Well, GRPO is designed to be more efficient and scalable than traditional reinforcement learning algorithms. It focuses on comparing the performance of different versions of the model, rewarding those that show improvement, and penalizing those that lag behind.
Just like a competition between different AI students.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Where the best performers get to advance.
Exactly. And this competitive aspect of GRPO actually mirrors how humans often learn, We're constantly comparing ourselves to others, and this comparison can drive us to improve.
That's a fascinating insight. It seems like they're taking inspiration from human learning.
Precisely. And this is where DeepSeek-R1's aha moment becomes even more intriguing. It suggests that by mimicking human learning, we might be able to create AI that exhibits a deeper understanding.
It's like we're unlocking the secrets of human cognition.
Exactly. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on DeepSeek-R1.
Right. So we've got the algorithm, GRPO, driving the learning process. But what about the fuel? What kind of data is it trained on?
DeepSeek-R1's training is a multi-stage process that involves various data sources. Remember the cold start phase we talked about?
Yeah.
That involves feeding the model human annotated data. It gives it a foundation of knowledge and helps it learn basic reasoning patterns.
Right. It's like building a house. You need a solid foundation.
Exactly. And after this initial cold start phase, DeepSeek-R1 undergoes extensive reinforcement learning training. This is where it's exposed to a massive data set of math problems, coding challenges, and other reasoning-intensive tasks.
So it's learning by doing.
Yeah.
Just like humans.
Precisely. And the beauty of reinforcement learning is that the AI can learn from its mistakes. It's not about getting everything right. It's about constantly experimenting and adapting.
It's a growth mindset for AI. So we've got the algorithm, the data. But there's another piece of the puzzle, the reward system. How does DeepSeek-R1 know if it's on the right track?
That's a great question. DeepSeek-R1 uses a combination of rewards to guide its learning for tasks with clear right or wrong answers, like math problems or coding challenges. It receives a reward for providing the correct solution.
Okay, so that's straightforward. Get the answer right, get a reward. But what about more subjective tasks, like writing or creative problem solving? How do you reward an AI for being creative?
That's where it gets even more interesting. For those more subjective tasks, DeepSeek-R1 relies on what are called reward models. These are simpler AI systems that have been trained to evaluate the quality of responses.
So it's like having a panel of AI judges
Yeah, something like that.
who decide which AI has the most creative flair.
Exactly. These reward models provide feedback, helping it learn to generate responses that are not only accurate, but also creative and engaging.
So it's not just about spitting out the right answer. It's about understanding the nuances of communication. Okay, that makes sense. We've covered a lot of technical ground here, the algorithm, the data, the reward system. But I'm also curious about the human side of things. What was some of the researchers' key insights during the development process? What surprised them?
One of the most fascinating insights from the paper is the emphasis on the iterative nature of AI development. They didn't just build DeepSeek-R1 in one go. They went through multiple stages of training, evaluation, and refinement.
So it was a process of constant learning and adaptation, not just for the AI, but for the researchers as well.
Exactly. And this highlights an important point about AI development. It's not a linear path. It requires a willingness to explore different approaches and learn from mistakes.
Okay.
And another key insight from the paper is the importance of distillation. Remember, this is the process of transferring knowledge from a larger, more complex model to a smaller, more efficient one.
Right, we talked about that, making AI more accessible.
Exactly. And the researchers found that this distillation process was surprisingly effective, even the smaller models, after being trained on the knowledge of DeepSeek-R1, achieved impressive results.
So it's not just about building bigger and more complex AI. It's also about finding ways to make them more efficient.
Precisely. This has huge implications for the future. Imagine running powerful AI models on devices like smartphones.
Wow.
We could have AI assistants that are truly personalized and available to everyone.
That would be revolutionary.
It would democratize AI.
Making its power available to everyone. It's like the printing press, which made knowledge accessible to a wider audience.
It's a powerful analogy. It highlights the transformative potential of AI.
Yeah.
But as with any powerful tool,
Yeah.
we need to wield it responsibly.
Absolutely. But for now, let's get back to DeepSeek-R1. We've covered a lot, but there's one aspect we haven't explored in depth. DeepSeek-R1's aha moment.
Yes, that moment of sudden realization. It's a tantalizing glimpse into the possibility of AI, developing a deeper understanding.
It's like the AI is moving beyond just following instructions. It's starting to think for itself.
Precisely. And this raises fascinating questions about the nature of intelligence itself.
What does it mean to truly understand something?
Right.
Is it simply processing information and applying rules? Or is there something more?
It's a question that's been debated for centuries.
And DeepSeek-R1's aha moment suggests that we might be on the verge of something truly groundbreaking.
It's an exciting time to be alive. witnessing these breakthroughs.
Absolutely. And as we continue this journey, it's crucial that we approach AI with a sense of wonder and curiosity
Agreed.
and a commitment to using this technology for good.
Well said.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the practical applications of DeepSeek-R1. This model has shown incredible promise, but how can we translate these capabilities into real-world solutions?
That's a great question. The potential applications are vast. Imagine a world where AI can assist us in every aspect of our lives.
It sounds like science fiction.
I know, right? But it's becoming reality. DeepSeek-R1 is a prime example of how AI is moving from theory to practice. Let's start with education. Imagine every student having access to a personalized AI tutor
Wow.
that can adapt to their learning style and provide targeted feedback.
That would be a game changer. It could level the playing field.
Absolutely. And DeepSeek-R1's reasoning capabilities could also be used to develop intelligent tutoring systems that can teach complex concepts in a way that is engaging and tailored to each student.
So it's about making learning more personalized.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
And beyond personalized tutoring, DeepSeek-R1 could be used to create adaptive learning platforms that adjust the difficulty and pace based on each student's progress.
So no more one-size-fits-all curriculum.
Exactly.
That would make learning much more effective.
Precisely. And its capabilities in math and coding could also be used to develop interactive learning tools that make STEM subjects more accessible.
Yeah, we need to inspire the next generation
Yeah.
of scientists and engineers.
Absolutely. Yeah. And beyond education. DeepSeek-R1 has potential in healthcare, finance, and research. Imagine AI assisting doctors in diagnosing diseases or helping financial advisors create personalized plans.
It's like having an AI partner in every field.
Exactly. Let's look at some specific examples. In healthcare, DeepSeek-R1 could be used to develop diagnostic tools that can analyze medical images and patient records.
That could revolutionize healthcare,
It could help doctors make faster, more informed decisions.
leading to earlier diagnosis and more effective treatments.
Precisely. And its reasoning capabilities could also be used to develop personalized treatment plans.
Wow, that's taking personalized medicine to a whole new level.
Exactly. And what about finance? Imagine an AI-powered financial advisor that can analyze market trends and assess risk.
That would take the guesswork out of investing.
Right. It could help people make smarter financial decisions.
That's incredible.
And its ability to process data could also be invaluable in fraud detection and risk management.
So it's not just about helping individuals, it's about safeguarding the entire financial system.
Precisely. And let's not forget about scientific research. DeepSeek-R1's reasoning capabilities could accelerate breakthroughs by helping researchers make connections and design experiments more effectively.
It's like having an AI research assistant
Exactly.
that can sift through mountains of data.
And identify promising leads.
It's about augmenting human intellect and accelerating scientific discovery.
Absolutely. This could lead to solutions for some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity.
Like developing new cures for diseases
Mm.
or finding sustainable energy sources.
Exactly.
It's incredible to think about the potential of AI to solve practical problems and expand our understanding of the universe.
It's a truly remarkable time to be alive.
And as we explore the capabilities of AI, it's crucial that we remain grounded in our values.
Well said.
We need to ensure that this technology is used to enhance human life.
Absolutely.
It's an exciting and challenging time.
Indeed. And it's a journey we must embark on together, with a sense of shared responsibility.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the technical details of DeepSeek-R1 to the broader implications of AI. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to DeepSeek-R1's aha moment.
Okay.
What does this moment tell us about the nature of intelligence itself?
Ah, yes, that's a big question, isn't it? The one that's been debated for centuries. And while we don't have all the answers, DeepSeek-R1 offers some intriguing insights.
For centuries, we've considered intelligence to be a uniquely human trait. But AI is challenging that notion.
Right.
It's demonstrating capabilities
Right.
that were once thought to be exclusive to humans.
Exactly. And DeepSeek-R1's ability to reason and solve problems suggests that intelligence may not be as exclusive as we once believed.
It's like we're discovering new forms of intelligence.
Precisely. And this raises the question, what is intelligence really?
Is it simply processing information and following rules? Or is there something more?
It's a question that may not have a simple answer.
But DeepSeek-R1's development compels us to reconsider our assumptions about intelligence.
I agree.
It's a future that holds both promise and challenges.
Indeed. And it's a future that we must shape together.
Well said. So, We've reached the end of our deep dive into DeepSeek-R1. We've covered a lot today, from its technical details to its broader implications. It's been a fascinating journey. And we hope you've enjoyed joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. You've gotten a glimpse of what cutting-edge AI research looks like and the incredible potential it holds. As always, we encourage you to keep exploring, learning, and engaging in the conversation about AI and its impact on our world. It's a conversation that's just beginning, and it's one that will shape the future of humanity for generations to come. But before we sign off, there's one more piece of this DeepSeek-R1 puzzle we need to examine, the way it learns. We've touched on reinforcement learning throughout this deep dive, but I think it deserves a closer look, especially given how central it is to this model's success.
You're absolutely right. Reinforcement learning, or RL, has become a real game changer in AI training, and DeepSeek-R1's achievements really highlight its power.
So for those who might be new to this concept, can you break down how reinforcement learning works and why it's so significant?
Okay, so at its core, reinforcement learning is about training an AI agent to interact with an environment and learn from its experiences. You can think of it like training a dog with treats. You reward the dog for the behavior you want, and over time, it learns to repeat those actions to get more rewards.
Right. That analogy really helps to simplify it, but instead of treats, we're talking about positive signals that reinforce the AI's learning, right?
Exactly. These signals guide the AI, helping it understand which actions lead to desirable outcomes. Now, in the case of DeepSeek-R1, it's exposed to a huge data set of tasks, things like math problems, coding challenges, natural language processing puzzles, you name it. It tries to solve these tasks, and based on how well it performs, it receives feedback in the form of rewards or penalties.
So if DeepSeek-R1 cracks a tough math problem, it gets a virtual pat on the back, so to speak. But if it makes a mistake, it's like getting a low score on a test, a signal that it needs to adjust its approach.
Precisely. And through this process of trial and error, DeepSeek-R1 starts to connect certain actions with positive rewards and others with negative consequences.
It's essentially learning through experience, just like we do in many ways.
That's the beauty of reinforcement learning. It allows AI systems to learn without being explicitly programmed with every rule or instruction. It's more organic, more akin to how humans learn by exploring, experimenting, and adapting based on the outcomes of their actions.
That makes a lot of sense, and this approach seems particularly well suited for tasks that require complex decision-making, strategic thinking, and the ability to adapt.
You hit the nail on the head. It's not just about memorizing facts or following a set of predefined rules. Reinforcement learning enables AI systems to develop a deeper understanding of the underlying principles and relationships, allowing them to think critically, solve novel problems, and even come up with creative solutions.
It's like we're moving beyond the era of AI that simply follows instructions and entering a new phase where AI can learn to think for itself, reason, and problem solve in a way that's more akin to human cognition.
That's a very insightful way to put it. And DeepSeek-R1, with its ability to reason through complex math problems, write different kinds of code, and even experience what the researchers call an aha moment, is a testament to the power of this approach.
It makes you wonder what's next for reinforcement learning, what other breakthroughs might be on the horizon.
The potential is truly vast. As we continue to refine reinforcement learning algorithms and develop new techniques, we can expect to see even more impressive advancements in AI. This could lead to breakthroughs in areas like robotics, where robots can learn to navigate complex environments and perform intricate tasks. It could revolutionize autonomous vehicles, making them even safer and more efficient. And it could even transform fields like personalized medicine, where AI can help develop tailored treatment based on an individual's unique genetic makeup and medical history.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, but as we push the boundaries of AI, we also need to be mindful of the ethical considerations we need to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly in a way that benefits all of humanity and doesn't create new problems or exacerbate existing inequalities.
I completely agree. As we've discussed throughout this deep dive, with great power comes great responsibility. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us as a society to guide its development and ensure that it's used for good.
Well said. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our exploration of DeepSeek-R1. You've learned about its impressive capabilities, its unique approach to learning, and the potential it holds to transform various fields. But perhaps the most important takeaway is that DeepSeek-R1, for all its advancements, is still just a tool. A powerful tool, yes, but ultimately a tool that we humans must wield responsibly and ethically. So as you go about your day, we encourage you to think about the questions we've raised today. What are your hopes and concerns about AI? How do you think AI will shape the future? And most importantly, what role do you want to play in shaping that future? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions.